Welcome to John and Dylan Online. I'm Dylan Gott. Who's that?
Oh, my name's John Hastings. This is a show about two guys that fuck. We're taking it out. We're showing it to people. We don't fully remove our clothes to have sex. We don't even undo our trousers. We pull them down the belt line, penis and balls over the belt line. The worst way to present male genitals, fully clothed over the belt line.
We are piss-soaked cucks, and we are here soaking, loving water sports, wanting you to piss on us while I guess other guys we've hired from whatever sites like Craigslist in your area that look like us watch because we want to live cuck each other.
Do you know how disappointed I am every year the Summer Olympics rolls around and I'm confused by what they mean by water sports? I thought I'm about to have my favorite summer of all time. Tricked again.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be someone having 8 straight glasses of water.
I thought the French would bring it. If anyone is going to go, no, we're not talking about swimming. We're talking about these people pissing on these people, and then we're going to give them gold medals. I thought the French would be actual men, but no, as usual, the EU fucked me again, Dylan. I got fucked by the EU.
John, we're doing our top 5 albums, and this was suggested by a listener. We would never do this on our own. This is by Viva's D's Nuts on Patreon. Thank you so much for giving to us. John, you started off with your 5th best album of all time.
Big Shiny Tunes 3.
Yeah. No notes. Anyway, moving on.
You. What is your number 5? The seriousness they're taking this list seems to be in doubt, thought the listeners.
My number 5?
Go ahead.
This fucking Fush You Mang by the Mouth, bro.
Say that again?
Fush You Mang by Smash Mouth.
Oh, yeah.
It's got Walking on the Sun, which, as we know, is about Rodney King, the only real comment on that tragedy that matters. And then it's got nothing else. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. I saw it. It's from the 90s. Albums only needed one good song in the 90s. We weren't fucking losing. We weren't whiny bitches like we are now. Every song used to be good on the album. No. One good song.
Because you bought it.
Yeah, you bought it. You've been fucked. Only Oasis had more than one good song on an album, and that's why they're charging literally $1 million for a ticket for their reunion.
Oh, God. Were you an Oasis guy?
I mean, like, I like loud guitar rock, so like I'll fuck with Oasis. I wouldn't say I'm an Oasis guy. I'm not like, no, you know what I mean? I'm not from England, is what I'm saying. If you're from England, if you're from England, you either like want to literally insert the Gallagher brothers inside an orifice of your body to feel their heat, or you want to do whatever the equivalent of an ethnic cleansing is, but just to those two brothers in Manchester. And it's the most fascinating thing. Like, I've never seen people that are like, I now have fulfillment. My children can be murdered by me. And also people like, I'm murdering my children so they don't have to be put up with 10 times these guys playing Wembley.
I mean, Oasis is yet another thing where people liked it, and I was like, all right. Like, it just like, I could see between being 25 and 75 about Oasis, but the fact that someone is 100 or 0 boggles my mind.
That's exactly, you're 100% correct. It's like really repping chicken salad.
Yeah. Oh, chicken salad, all right. But then people are like, no, there was raisins in the salad. Yeah. And you're like, all right.
They put grapes in the chicken salad, and I feel like I was assaulted. Well, that
grapes, I would say, is weird.
You're wrong. I thought so too. Incorrect. It's the move.
Mm-hmm.
It fucking slaps, baby.
Ooh, it slaps.
Yeah,
That's
man.
what we're saying.
Yeah, man. It's fucking what young people thought meant good in 2018.
People would... John just dabbed for those of you at home. Hello.
If you're not watching on YouTube, then I guess that you're listening to these podcasts in 2011, you fucking subscribers to the Nerdist. Go ahead, Dylan.
I think that if I was to ever date someone who wasn't a white woman again, whoa, I would, first time I met her family, put raisins in the potato salad just so they could experience the meme.
Interesting.
Like how we're like, oh, raisins, that's like the reference for being too white. I'd be like, this potato salad is just mayonnaise and raisins. Why don't you fucking
Yeah.
This is our land. This is our land.
Just go real right way. Why are you dating this man? I am not dating him. I thought he was the Amazon guy. He just showed up with a bowl. Did you order a bowl from Amazon, Tina? Stop letting people into my goddamn house.
Yeah, whatever window opens up onto the backyard, when the family shows up and realizes the potato salad is just a potato that's uncut and unboiled with mayonnaise around it and raisins, I rip open that window and yell, "This is our land." That would be the experience I have.
What you just described is a dish I have seen for sale in a variety of different, and I mean this in the loosest terms, restaurants in the north of England. Like,
one time I went to like a cheaper breakfast spot that was because people, these fucking hipster breakfast spots in England,
no,
they're fucking stupid. Sourdough, fuck you. And I was one of those people until I had like a beans on toast where I was like, it is impossible that someone who loves another person would serve them this.
I mean, I remember the fucking breakfast calf that was cheap in Edinburgh that you went to all the time that was by Palmyra Pizza that looked like you'd get hepatitis from that place. It was nuts.
But that was a full Scottish, and if I've learned this about myself, you had blood pudding and haggis, I got time for you.
I got to tell you this right now.
I got time for, I can't believe I haven't fucking had
it's so good.
haggis since I've been back here. Haggis is fucking something in me needs
Here's
it.
the thing with Scottish people that is both the problem and the solution is everywhere else is like, it's just amazing sausage, but the Scottish people are like, they heard the phrase, I don't want to know how the sausage is made, and they were like, that sounds like something the English would do. We're telling them how it's made. And so that's the only thing is like, you're just like, all right, do you want the most kidney-filled, bile-bonded haggis? And you're like, I really want to enjoy that. Could you not? Oh, and blood pudding's so fucking good. Oh, it's so good.
But this is the thing where they're always like Scottish foods. It's like an organ, and then they like double deep fry it with butter. I'm like, that's what makes things good.
Yeah, I didn't realize we were fucking messing with perfection. You fucking assholes.
Yeah, also, like all this food was made for people who would like work in the field all day, so it like doesn't matter that you eat double deep fried.
Wait a minute.
Guts.
You let someone suck your dick with their mouth that at some point in their life could have bad breath? Not on my fucking watch.
That's the same thing. That's a really good analogy, and it works. John, what's your fourth best album?
Now 3, the compilation Now 3, the Canadian weird pop music compilation from the mid-90s. Now 3, not Now 1. Not Now 2.
What songs does Now 3 have on it?
Smash Mouth's Walking on the Sun. I'll tell you that much for free right now.
That's good. That should be your top 5.
Just various things that have Smash Mouth.
I mean, I guarantee you there's 5 compilations with Walking on the Sun on them, and they should all be number 5. And number 1 should have been Fush You Mang, but I took that from you.
Let me just ask you this right now. Get ready for the most middle to late 90s playlist you've ever tried to finger a babe to. Number 1, Chumbawamba's Tub Thumping. Number 2, Matchbox 23 AM. Number 3, Marcy Playground Sex and Candy. Number 4, Bitch by Meredith Brooks.
Oh, yeah, I'm a bitch.
I'm a lover. I'm a child. I'm a mother. I'm a sinner. I'm a
mother.
saint. I don't know what that next line is. The Wallflowers, The Difference. Paula Cole, I Don't Want to Wait.
He was before Nepo Babies, but congratulations, Jacob Dylan. You got one in under the fucking.
Absolutely. Just fucking get in there. You were the soundtrack to the show Friends. And let me say this. Fun fact about John Hastings. I've got 2 Wallflowers albums on my Spotify, and I listen to them.
Really? You listen to full Wallflowers albums?
Yeah, that's right. I suck. I am.
Okay.
I am. Oh, we're not done, bitch. Janet Jackson, Together Again. Jewel, Foolish Games. Verve, Bittersweet Symphony. Echo Line Crush, All That You Are. Lisa Loeb, I Do. Sister Hazel, All For You. Great Big Sea. Great Big Sea, Dylan. It's the End of the World as We Know It, and I Feel Fine. A remix. Spice Girls.
Great Big Sea before I've been to Halifax.
You what?
Great Big Sea, as soon as you enter Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
A man who's twice your size, no matter what size you are, puts the headphones on you, and then Great Big Sea is playing, and then he just looks at you and goes, "Say you like it."
Yeah, I don't know what it is
experience.
About the dampness in the air of the west coast of Canada, but they love it when someone's playing that drum that you play like this.
You mean
You know
East
that?
Coast fuckhead?
Yeah, the fucking East Coast. The fucking.
Oh, God.
Can I say this, by the way, about the maritime provinces of Canada? Best PR of the entire nation, always a letdown. Not looking at you, Newfoundland. Newfoundland, know what you do? You deliver every time.
No, I mean, I disagree.
Go ahead. Do you like
Newfoundland? If you're from Ontario, being from Nova Scotia, people from Nova Scotia are like a cousin you never see who is always really fun. But then they have that one dark secret. You're like, as long as you steer clear of him talking about his aunt or whatever, you're good. But then like Alberta is like they're fucking pissed at you for some reason. BC pretends things are fine. They are not.
I'm going to say this right now. I'm not saying that I'm like, by me being like the Maritimes can eat it, I'm not then being like, and let me tell you who rules Alberta. I got problems with those fucks too. And also, by the way, any maritime person, you're great, especially out of the Maritimes. But when you're all together, as Dylan pointed out, it's 4 provinces of people that all have a real no-go zone conversation topic. And when they're all put together, especially in the winter, it's just a violent pot of fists and alcohol. Like, it's 8 a.m. and that man just threw up a fully unchewed slice of pizza. Now he's eating it, and he's that bus driver. Oh, that's why that bus was there. He's driving that bus. Okay, all right. For some reason, it has a botanical gardens and the dirtiest bank of Montreal I've ever seen in my life. Let's go to hell.
My number 4 is Reinventing the Steel by Pantera.
Goddamn right. Goddamn fucking right. Now we know who is listening to this, and it is men. Also, I was recently playing a casino where the band Down will be playing, and my friend Dave was the opening act, and I have never been more excited. Holy shit!
Down rules. They, I think I've told the story, but they didn't have an opener when I saw them. They just played a Paul Rogers concert. They just like, here's the band free, suck my dick, and then they rolled out, and it was like the same carpet they use at all their shows, which you could tell because it had a bunch of cigarette stains on it.
What I like about Phil Anselmo is Phil Anselmo acts like it's just like, it's me, I'm fun. And you're like, this is not fun, Phil. He's like, yeah, it's good though.
No, it's fun.
I'm having a good time. And you're like, yeah, but it's you having a good time and everyone else having a good time is 2 different things. Okay.
But he doesn't drink as much anymore. When I saw Pantera further, like when I saw the fucking Pantera tribute act with like Phil and Rex, and then
did you see the Zach Wilde Pantera?
Yes.
What was that like? Of course it was.
It was kind of not the Pantera experience because if you will listen to as many live albums as I have, it's like it wasn't a hammered guy screaming about how he's got a huge dick.
It wasn't someone who, and this is a phrase from your act, getting 1997 lit and just fucking acting like you were kids playing in front of his garage while he's trying to fix a motor. Hey, can you not bounce that basketball? Some of us were trying to fuck last night. What?
Yeah, I don't know where the concert is, but there's a bootleg where he goes, everybody love rock and roll, holler at me. And then everyone cheers and he goes, I have no idea what I just said, but I loved y'all's response.
I mean, there's
just that constantly.
There's a wild lecture that's supposed to be a Q&A, and he's just like, the second question is like, how are your struggles with addictions? And he's like, all right, now that we're getting to it, let me walk you through the heroin experience. And then he's just not taking questions. You're just hearing about what it's like to do heroin for 45 full minutes, who then brings it back to the fact that his family makes really good Italian food. Who wants to fucking play? Because metal singers do not play.
I don't know how they are anymore. I assume it's like everything. Like metal in the 90s was like wrestlers in the 90s where they were fucking psychos. And then, and now it's just like the equivalent of wrestler AJ Styles bringing on a briefcase that just has an Xbox in it because it also has a monitor so he can like play on a train where the fucking controller's in his chin because he needs that little amount of space to play. But yeah, I mean, one time he did a interview on a van, and they asked him, "What's your diet like?" And he said nothing but vitamin B and vitamin C, and he held up a beer and a cigarette. Hell yeah!
I mean, that's almost as good as Marco Pierre's response to, "What do you have for breakfast?" 3 coughs, coffee, and cigarette.
Is Marco Pierre that's chef?
Marco Pierre White is who Gordon Ramsay is doing an impression of, like Gordon Ramsay. How about you get out? And Marco Pierre was just like a curly-haired man.
But very keenly, like all things that become famous, Marco Pierre White used to be handsome, then he fucked and like he just looks fucked now. And Gordon Ramsay was like, what if that guy never smoked or
Yeah,
did
they
drugs?
did the opposite, which is like Gordon Ramsay used to be a chunky monkey. He had that real British face where it's like he didn't have so much of a chin as the indentation where a chin should be, and then a pencil-like straightness from nose to belly button. And then he just kept running marathons and cheating on his wife to the point that he got fucking ripped, man. And then Marco Pierre White was just one of those guys that was like, cigarette smoking? Oh, I do that inside still. And people are like, oh, yeah. It's noticeable. You look like a furnace.
Yeah, Marco Pierre White, if you told me that that's the session bassist for Motley Crue, I'd be like, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That seems like the kind of guy that thinks he's in Foreigner, and he is in a Foreigner tribute band.
Yeah, he looks like the snow you scrape out from underneath your car in friggin' February, where it's just black and just
good.
Falls on the ground and goes black. But anyway, Reinventing the Steel, my favorite thing about this album, I think Phil Anselmo was such a big heroin addict at that point that the band wasn't even talking. So like the Abbott brothers made the music and then just sent it to Phil and Rex, and they just like did that. And I always think people always say that, like, yeah, you could really sense the band was over at that point or something. And it was like, no, it was really good. I really, really like it. Cause it was like, just like what metal is, I think, is that sound. Cause like, you know, Cowboys is them doing like their version of thrash, Vulgar and Far Beyond Driven's like really sharp groove metal. Great Southern Trendkill is them kind of like almost going for like an anal cunt, like fucking grindcore sound almost. And then Reinventing the Steel is just like holistically, classically what heavy metal is to me.
It's also the thing with Pantera is that they were incredibly competitive guys at the top of their game, and it was best when they were trying to outdo each other, which is why Cowboys from Hell really stands out, is because they are very much trying to break with tradition and forge their own path after their 10 years of hair metal did not work. Because the thing with Pantera is to be aware is they're an incredibly savvy band in that they were the pop version of all this very, very intense underground music, which sounds crazy, but it's like there's a shitload of dudes that are still wearing cargo shorts that are in their middle 60s working at a car wash in the city that I live in currently that I guarantee want to decapitate Rex Brown. Because in the end, Pantera fucking rules, but Pantera did a lot of things which, you know, they are the most popular version of an underground thing, and Reinventing the Steel is such a fucking tight, amazing album because it's also clearly like Dimebag Darrell's like, every fucking song is starting with a guitar solo, finishing with a guitar solo, and it's gonna rip. And then Phil Anselmo, because they're, you know, men that can't comprehend their emotions and conflict. So instead of discussing how one of them is clearly murdering himself with heroin, he was just like, each of these songs are talking about how I'm very good at winning fights.
Oh, and also like a large chunk of the album is impossible to play live because it's like 6 different noises Dimebag made that takes a long time to do spliced.
Like what is the lead single, the fucking Revolution Is My Name. That song starts with basically like, yo, Van Halen, check out this eruption shit. And then it's just like, what are you Yeah, oh, so fucking good. I mean, listen, I don't like that Dimebag died, but also I hate bands getting back together. Like, I just, like, leave things alone. That we don't need them again. Hey, remember this thing that was good when they were younger? Well, it's bad now.
But it's also possible to be like what they're doing now, which is basically like, hey, we're 60, we don't have retirement plans, and we're gonna do like this is like the last time we can do a facsimile of one of our live shows.
I'm gonna say this right now, and I take it all back. I wish Dimebag Darrell had lived because I would have been fascinated to hear that guy's politics in 2024.
I mean, you wouldn't have been able to go to the show.
Oh, I don't
they
think
had
those shows would be
Confederate
happening.
flags. I don't think it's a. Which, by the way, Superjoint Ritual, I think their second album is one of the most post 9/11 albums in post 9/11 album history, because it's like the chorus to one of their songs is basically like, "If you bomb us, we'll fucking kill your family." Like,
Oh, this is a genre that's not discussed at all, which was the especially in country and heavy metal, which is the post 9/11 We Gonna Done Get Them Brown People albums.
Hell
And there
yeah,
is a lot of like, and his name is Christopher and he's from Lebanon. I don't know what that means, but the code to his gate is 4715. Take care of it, gentlemen. He's my neighbor and I don't like him. Like, it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like,
All right, what's your number 4 or 3?
number 3, the Canadian compilation album Frosh.
Frosh.
Do you remember Frosh?
I remember that. It triggers a memory. What, it was the exact same songs as Now 3?
How dare you, Dylan?
Did you try and compile a list that was basically the exact same songs? Because I would be very jealous if you had done that.
I want you to know I wish I had done that, and I kind of want to restart the album so I can just do that. No. But Frosh is basically now 3 is I'm 12.
It's for Frosh Week, first of all, which is cool.
Dylan, thank you. It is cool. So Frosh, here are the songs. Are you ready? Blur 2,
Yes.
Spirit of the West, Home for Arrest. The Proclaimers, I'm Gonna Walk 500 Miles. Violent Femmes, Blister in the Sun. Steelers Wheel, Stuck in the Middle with You. The Romantics, What I Like About You is You Really Know How to Dance. David Wilcox, Do the Bearcat.
Nice.
Number 8 is the most 90s song ever. Dennis Leary's Asshole.
No.
Yes.
Dennis Leary.
Beastie Boys, Fight for Your Right to Party. Pig Bag, Papa's Got a Brand New Pig Bag. Gary Glitter, Rock and Roll Part 2. Dylan's favorite song by Dylan's favorite artist.
Oh, yeah.
The Village People, YMCA. Dexy's Midnight Riders, Come On Eileen. D-Light, Groove Is in My Heart. Billy Idol, Money Money. Iggy Pop, Lust for Life. James is Laid.
I mean, that's arguably the worst album. But yeah, Frosh is a great idea. It's Frosh Week. Let's put on a song by a pedophile. Yeah.
And also somehow Dennis Leary, the worst guy on the album somehow. I don't know how that happened. Yeah.
If you're not at a comedy circle, Dennis Leary famously basically took Bill Hicks' acts and just made it different a bit.
Dennis Leary really seems like the kind of guy that would like be upset at the type of toilet you had at a house party you threw. Like, yeah, you don't have 2 types of toilet paper in the John? What? That's not a thing people have. At my house, there's 2 types. 3-ply, 2-ply. You decide. Why are you shouting?
And speaking of post 9/11 thing, he did the most which he just made a sitcom about firefighters and how they fucking ruled. Which, I mean, obviously firefighters, great. But Dennis Leary, yeah.
It is the most wild show of who the hero is. Like, he relapses on alcohol so many times in that show, and the underlying message is always like, her fault he did this. Like, there is
He's fucking tortured.
Like, there is literally, I believe there's a scene where the woman is, this is somewhat exaggerated, where she's like, let me just say what's not going to happen in this scene, us having sex. And then he's like, oh yeah, we will be having sex. And then she afterwards is like, it is good that when I said I do not want to have sex, you made me have sex, because that is how women should operate. And like, you're like, what is the purpose of this show? And Dennis Leary's like, my wife didn't want to have sex with me one time, and this episode is about how I do not like that.
Yeah. Listen, my wife said no to me, and men know what women want. Or women need, sorry.
I just remember Dennis Leary doing an interview when he was playing the police commissioner for one of the Spider-Man movies, and it was one of those ones where it's like, you do not realize how out of touch you. Who's just like, sorry, my daughter's texted me. She's taken another one of my cars into the city with my credit card, and you're just like, Dennis, you present yourself as like, I'm the man that works. I'm the working man. And then it's like, a man who works at my house is named Pablo, and I intentionally employ someone who doesn't have working papers so I can hold that over them when I do not want to pay them on time. I have the money. I just like holding on to it.
Yeah, he's it must be interesting to when you're the back in my day guy, but in the mid 90s, and then watching, it's like, well, back in gender, I got a gender for you. Gender, shut up.
When you think about it, he was the back in my day guy at 32. Back in my day,
that's so
back in
funny.
my day, I was mirroring the opinions of my father who didn't talk to me. Back in my day, I wasn't accepted by my dad because I noted that I might want to speak in public, and he's from Ireland, and at that time it constituted me being a Protestant. He made me drink his piss.
That is such a really good shout on the back in my day guy who's like, cause one of his bits was like, we just play Stones 24/7. It's like, we just play a band that best work was done by the time I was born.
Yeah, it's also like you listen to his acting so much, like, because what's very funny is his first album, No Cure for Cancer, was a one-man show worked in London, because his son like got like emergency born while he was on tour. It's like the most weird story told to me by a doorman at the Comedy Store that, I'm going to be totally honest, now that I say it out loud, it sounds fake. It sounds really fake. But anyway, that show was so like mirrored off of Bill Hicks's act, and then his follow-up is such a diminish because he doesn't have Bill Hicks to rip off. And it is crazy because he has a big problem with flavored coffee, which is my favorite. What happens to angry comedians? It's a certain point you're like, croissants are too flaky. This is my favorite shirt.
Yeah, he does complain about croissants. It's not a croissant, it's a croissant. Fuck you.
Oh my God, that's right.
Which is like when I realized that while watching another comedian, which is when the funniest part of a joke is something that like one of your relatives or your family says, and then your punchline isn't that good, is you either swear or laugh or both.
Also, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, nothing is more douche chilling. Nothing gives me the ick. Dylan, I'm letting you know what my number one ick is when Americans make fun of French people, because I'm like, first of all, throughout your entire history, without the French, you don't fucking exist. Second of all, their complaints are always insane. Like, they come over and they're always like, la, 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 la. And it's like, they don't speak the language. Your issue is they speak a different language. And it's like, yeah, that's bad. It's like, all right, like, man, like, we've heard this since the Napoleonic era. Go after the fact that every third celebrity in France is just like, this is my girlfriend. She is a baby.
But it's also like
I am Gerald. I am the actor in this movie called Silent Poo Poo. My baby is a fetus. I am dating the fetus.
I'm dating one of my co-stars in the movie, the baby.
Yeah, I am dating the baby in the movie.
Three men and the baby. In the French version, all the men are in love with the baby, and that's fine.
Yeah, it's called Lolita the prequel.
No, but mostly it's like, hey, fucking French people, here's my problem with them. Their skin's good, even though they smoke all day. How do you guys still stay that thin while just eating butter? I hate that.
Here's my problem with all Europe. They will go to a beach as a man and dress in a swimsuit. I'm from Massachusetts. You wear a full three-piece suit to the beach, and you complain that there's sand on the bottom of your finely shined dress shoes.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when I moved to Europe, I realized that everything... like every North American comedian who just talks about douchebags and being a fucking loser is literally just describing a Spanish person. When you go there, you're like, oh, this is what we hate. Like, you just hate people who dress different, but you can't say, I fucking hate the Spanish, so you just create, like, these guys.
Dylan and I were together when we realized that in Europe you could wear white shoes and a stranger won't just scuff your shoes, because what the fuck, you're not better than me. Speaking of the Maritimes, like, bear in mind, someone told someone that we know, yeah, you better watch out with that nice coat. Someone's going to call you gay. And someone did.
Oh, yeah. You show up in the Maritimes and you have two, like, if your skincare regime is on point as a white man, you're getting fucking sucker punched.
Attacked.
Legit.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't know if it's like that anymore. Maybe that is in the past.
I think it's like that. Let me say this right now. Let me say this, that I know something about Canada. Those sort of activities, they were not changed. Like, COVID just calmed everyone down just enough for them to rest, learn how to do 4 push-ups, discover the delight of hard seltzers. Let's get back in those bars. Now I am fully hydrated and I am still in a blackout. Let's physically attack each other.
All right, here's my third favorite album is
You're not beating
Supreme
Frosh.
Clientele by Ghostface Killah.
Oh.
I really like that one. That's it. I don't really have anything to add other than a lot of the songs are not okay now because he uses the slur with my last name in it.
Let me ask you this was Ghostface Ghostface is the Wu-Tang Clan member that recently came out and said I have schizophrenia, did the various fish themed albums, is that the one?
No idea. I know that all the members of Wu-Tang were very critical of him because he could have bought a house, but instead he bought a giant eagle necklace that he wore on Mad TV.
I got to say this about all members of Wu-Tang. They are everything I want from celebrities at all times. They are all way into Bill Cooper's book, Behold a Pale Horse. They all have weird ideas about why gold is valuable. They all have the most insane origin story and then the most insane way of being a celebrity you've ever heard in your life. Like it is never just straightforward. Yeah, Fish Scale and More Fish, unbelievable albums. Ghostface Killah, fucking rules.
Yeah, and then Action Bronson did an impression of him and made much more money because he's not crazy.
Yeah,
which is another thing where it's like if you just like Dennis Leary did it,
David Bowie is the king of it. David Bowie is the king of it.
You're not crazy. You take their thing, but you're not crazy. You apply basic business to it, and then you make a full ass ton of money. But I mean, the Wu-Tang was just basically. I mean, I'm not a big Wu-Tang person. A lot of people are. But Wu-Tang, most of the is like the RZA being like, "Oh, hey, I can make beats for you, fucking nutbags," and then
it was basically what you learned is you're like, man, the RZA's nuts, and you're like, yep, he was driven crazy by 11 fucking insane people, my friend. Yeah. Like, oh, he seems like he thinks he's talking to God directly, and it's like, yeah, man, he had to get Old Dirty Bastard on tour, keep him alive on that tour, and then get him home from tour. As someone who's been on tour, I can only imagine like what each day's problem would. The first thing you would do is think, I didn't know that this is a problem one could have. That's how each day starts on tour with the Wu-Tang Clan. Yeah. Hi. Raekwon has a bunch of bees. We don't know where he got the bees, and he is not leaving the hotel until we get all the bees back. I got to tell you, it's 50-50 that there are any bees.
But yeah, I guess it's him and Method Man. Method Man was like, "Hey, what if I did an album with this guy Redman, right? Because we're doing a thing like Pac-Man, and then also I won't be near ODB when he tries to rob a bank for fun."
while playing his album, wearing his merch and leaving a card that says, "I'm at this address. I'm playing hide and seek with the cops."
Well, ODB did that thing where he got welfare on MTV and showed up in a limo.
Yeah, because you want to know what? Old Dirty Bastard knows how to live, motherfucker.
And then didn't he die because he like keistered a bunch of fucking drugs and they released into his butt in the studio and then he died?
I don't know if it was that. I think it was one of those things where a doctor was like, "Hey man, like I don't know how much your cocaine you're doing, but it's gonna kill you." And he was like, "Somebody would win cocaine," and they're like, "That's your takeaway." And then he just left and did drugs. Like it was one of I think it was one of those ones where it's like, there's a bunch of lore around it, but really he just fucked himself up. But like, it's how with like Jerry Garcia, it's like, oh, it's so tragic he died. And it's like, yeah, man, when you smoke heroin all day, every day for 15 to 20 years, your heart is going to literally, say it with me, explode. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like the kind of the same thing. The reason that they were so great is because they were fucking nuts. Anyway, we're going to take a break now.
Whoa.
I can do this now. I figured this thing that I should have done. Honestly, week one when we started using this platform, I will now do.
Okay.
And we'll be back after the break.
Hey, I assume you just blew your nose in the mouth of a stranger because you are cool. After you do that, rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast on whatever medium you use to enjoy it. And then head on out and cough in the mouth of someone you know and say, "That's kissing where I come from."
Wow.
Oh,
what an ad, John.
What wise words from a wise man. Dylan,
yeah.
The people got to know. What is our number 2 album, big buddy?
What's your number 2? Which
Days and Confused soundtrack. The Days and Confused soundtrack. Richard Linklater.
That is good.
Richard Linklater providing you the top playlist hits for a bunch of teenagers getting drunk in Austin and him filming it, baby.
Oh, yeah. Ben Affleck playing the role he was always meant to. Guy who's
just a
27
dick.
and fucks 16-year-olds. Or no, wait. I guess that's implied they all do. But McConaughey.
No, that's Matthew McConaughey. No, it's very much implied that Ben Affleck is just an angry man who does not have sex, which again, that's casting where I fucking come from, baby. Like, may I just say this about Ben Affleck? Nothing is more a cry for help and also I could be Ben Affleck's friend than that back piece tattoo. Nothing says more than that guy would listen to this show and go, finally someone to get me through this J-Lo divorce. Kick, give me another suck.
Well, I just don't understand where it's like everyone's like, oh, he's so authentically from Boston, and then they'll also make fun of his back piece tattoo and the Dunkin' Donuts thing, and it's like that's what you like.
But people don't want to acknowledge what, like, he's so from Boston. He's like my friend Tobias, who went to BU for 6 months and then moved to Berkeley. And it's like, that's not what Boston is. Boston is essentially a bunch of guys named Mike really upset someone from Italy is in their neighborhood.
Oh yeah, Boston like took on the fucking Protestant Catholic thing and are mad at
Yeah.
people who are like, listen, you're like
There's nothing
Christian.
better than the Protestant Catholic feud in America because they don't know the iconography. So they're like, I'm from Belfast, the capital of the Republic of Ireland, and I support my favorite football soccer association, the Provisional IRA.
Yeah, I don't like Protestants because that's what makes me feel like I'm different.
A friend of mine, now dead, was at a fundraiser for an Irish charity in Los Angeles in the 90s, and he grew up in Dublin, and he was looking at around at like some of the sheets and stuff like that about the information about the charity, and he had to walk over to his aunt and he went, "Hey, I don't want to be rude, but I think we're raising money for the IRA." And she was like, "No, that's crazy." And then he was like, "Well, why does it?" And it was like, "Why does it say this here in this like where the money?" And she was like, "To fight for." Oh no! Oh no! And they were like, "We have to leave right
And
now."
what's wrong with the IRA though?
Catholics put babies on fucking spikes and then eat their fucking brains.
Oh,
Dylan,
okay.
this is an Ian Paisley podcast. We are the type of Christians that think the Pope is the devil, which you don't. I guarantee you didn't have them in Stouffville, but we had a couple of them in Ottawa. Oh, the best.
Really? The Pope is the devil, people?
Did you not have any Pope is the devil people? Yeah, because the Pope came to Canada at one point, and there were a couple of lawn signs of like, yeah, stop influencing our government, Pope. People don't understand how much more division there was in society. There were people, and this is before they knew about all the pedophilia. They were just like, God doesn't have a guy on earth. He's just up there. What the fuck is this? You know what I mean? Like, they, if anything, found out about the pedophilia and like, stop ganging up on this guy. Stop ganging up on the Satan that I like. There's nothing wrong with fucking kids. We do that in the Anglican Church too.
I do feel like it is kind of weird to be like, God has a messenger on earth and he mistook ketchup for mustard a couple times. It's on tape. You know what I mean?
That's a very, yeah. God's got a representative. He is using a motorized scooter, and it's 50-50. He knows exactly where he is. Like, he knows which country he's in, but he doesn't know the difference between Cleveland and Cincinnati. You know what I mean, baby?
He's uncertain about, yeah, God has a representative on earth. He pressed the elevator button after clearly someone had already pressed it. Why are you doing that?
I want the Catholic Church to really start competing on an internet level, and I want the next pope to be just ripped, just like a fucking hot guy. What's your name? Pope Bartholomew. Like, God said, everybody drop and give me 10 minutes of planking.
How do they select the Pope?
Pardon me?
How do they select the Pope?
Bunch of bishops gather in a conclave, and then they vote. And it's like a certain majority has to go. It's all very political and trading horses and stuff like that. It's basically like, okay, which one of you guys are willing to really cover up the crimes? And like, they're like,
Isn't it supposed to be like they're chosen by God? It's not like, hey, which one of you guys had the best fantasy basketball season? Like, that's not.
I mean, it's like that sort of is the basic way where it's like, which one of you guys was able to make sure that like no one figured out how fucking shady and weird it is that we do this. And they were like, this guy seems to be cool with climate change, and we'll just bring that up every time anyone has a criticism for a while. Sold. Like, that's just all it is. You know what I mean?
That's so weird. I don't know. Organized religion is really cool.
Organized religion is very fascinating. But the thing with this current pope is it's kind of the equivalent of like the boss coming in and being like, your salary's being cut, but on Fridays, some of you will get pizza. And it's like, well, we're getting pizza. We didn't have pizza before.
We're replacing a union with Pizza Fridays. Enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, what? Do we get dipping sauce for the first 3 weeks? Oh, it's going to be sweet.
All right, John. Your number 2 was which one?
The Dazed and Confused soundtrack. Richard Linklater programming the perfect playlist for the perfect summer.
Oh, wow. That's
is that
really
Fox
good.
on the Run? Come on.
That is a good soundtrack. My second is Kill 'Em All.
By?
Fucking. Uh.
That's the worst guy. The guy who doesn't know Metallica, that's the worst guy. The Black Album, never heard of it. I'm like into metal. That guy, that's the worst guy. I like Iron Maiden. Yeah, we all like Iron Maiden, man. But to get to Iron Maiden, you go through Metallica. I got news for you. That's how that works. No one goes from the Beatles to Iron Maiden without reading the Similarian or being a fucking madman. You have 10 minutes with Metallica, and then you're like, all the lyrics to this are just about how, like, my wife actually made me feel like I was not in charge, but I am. Brenda, I'm in charge, though. Like, it's just like, wait, what's this song about? This song's about how sometimes you go to war and you're not sure if they have first class seating on that airplane, and you like first class over coach, so you're upset about it. Wait, why is a soldier in first class? Well, he's just a guy. Aren't all guys in first class? Who do you think's getting in the back of those planes? Those are women. Those are only women sitting in the man, Lars Ulrich is weird.
Kill 'Em All's a classic album because it's like, what are they angry about? I don't fucking know, man. They're just fucking 18
about
and
searching and destroying. I don't fucking know. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just drunk driving, and then they wrote songs, Too Drunk Dive 2, that's it.
No, if you think about it, like, folk music was like the spine of it was like, we need to be the soundtrack, and we need to be able to condense these large concepts like the plight of the worker to stories that people can digest. And the metal's like, hey, it'd be fucking crazy if there was a knife in a toilet.
Toilet knife.
Yeah,
toilet knife.
Yeah, metal up your ass.
But it is for a time in your life when you're just fucking pissed and you're like, oh, why are you mad about it? You're like, I don't fucking know.
Because of your fucking face, man.
It's like if you asked a toddler to write a song. I'm fucking mad because my mom's a fucking mom. Not you.
Yeah, nothing, by the way, says that this girl rejected me at a party that had more Prosecco than it had beer than the albums Load and Reload.
Yeah, I mean, Metallica first album, I think, it's just fast. And then it's like none of the things people say about Master of Puppets and Ride the Lightning and stuff. And those are certainly great albums. But you can see where it's like, oh, the dumb guys are starting to think they're smart. There's none of that in Kill 'Em All. It's like, we're fucking dumb. Yeah. It's like Rogan talking about how fucking sick monkeys are. And then everyone made fun of him for that. And I'm like, oh, well, you're making fun of him for talking about how cool monkeys are? Well, now he's telling people what to think about vaccines. So
yeah. You guys don't understand what doubling down means to these people. You know what I mean? They're not here to educate. They're here to win. They're playing two different games.
Yeah, everyone has that thing where they just like start before they start buying into their own bullshit. And yeah.
Can I just say this about Metallica's Kill 'Em All, which I do really enjoy also, is that one of the songs is literally, check out how fucking sick this guy is at bass.
A bass solo is fucking crazy,
nuts. Like, they're just like, and it's 3 minutes. Like,
well, I mean, it does break up the album, and the other thing about it is, suck my fucking dick. Here's some fucking guy on a bass.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize you guys didn't like to party. I guess you don't need a soundtrack for when you're crushing beers near a pool that's fucking been drained, but I do.
Yeah. What do you guys? Oh, you know when you get a pickup truck and then one guy sits in the back drinking, and you try and drive over bumps so much that he flies out and maybe dies? That's what our music's for.
Yeah, our music is for playing at that guy's funeral because you're disappointed in the fact that his spine was not strong enough to withstand your fun.
Yeah, and then you fucking sever the casket with the same pickup truck that he died in.
Exactly.
That's what our
right.
music's for.
You tried to finger his girlfriend, realize that's his mom, still try it, fight his dad.
That's what Kill 'Em All is about. John, what's your number one album?
Oh, fuck. Number one album is going to be Big Shiny Tunes 1.
Okay. I was really hoping you would say like a Simon and Garfunkel album or something, but
it's my number one is the White Album by the Beatles.
Oh, okay, good. All right.
Never heard. I never heard it. I just like looking at the cover. Helps me think.
Oh, reminds you of Nut.
Yeah, I'm performing in front of the cover of the White Album right now. This is a performance, by the way. That's why I'm wearing a scarf.
Yeah. My number one is Jimmy Fallon's stand-up album.
Oh my God, Jimmy Fallon has a stand-up album? Jimmy Fallon has a stand-up album. Stop the presses. Everyone, let's go. Does he have the troll song on it? Dylan. They still talk about the Jimmy Fallon troll bit in LA because the Hollywood Improv has had the same staff for 40 years. So they were there for all of the stories. Andy Kaufman, great guy. really irritating. Is how the bartender said. I
Yeah.
overheard him say it once, and you're like, yeah, that's exactly how that would. If you're the guy who's like, oh, cool, I'm gonna have to try and get this guy who just had his beer kicked over by someone doing an Elvis impression to give me a tip. What fresh hell this is. And they still talk about. They were like, Jimmy Fallon would bomb for 30 minutes and then do this just different versions of bands singing about a troll doll. And they were like, he would kill. They were like, it would move. The club would stand up out of its own power, spin around in the air like the apocalypse was coming, be replaced on its foundations with a crushing noise, and 4 people were impregnated by the awesomeness of positivity. Like, it was like, what? And they're like, I didn't understand it either, but it would be killed.
It is fucking nuts. You talked about this on the podcast before, but the bar closer, the fact that you could fucking bomb for 40 minutes and then do a song and dance about how, like, what it's like to drive an electric car or something. And,
This is
murder.
my representation of what it's like to do a shot of whiskey with hot sauce in it. Like, yeah, and now hit the fucking
you.
music. Yeah. Oh. Like, there's a duo in England called Raymond and Mr. Timkins, and basically they're just doing bar show road closers from the 90s for every bit, where they play a song and then they act out misunderstanding one lyric of the song. And let me tell you this, unfollowable.
Yeah, 100%.
You're not doing anything but knowing they're closing the gig. Oh, the best. Do they own a van? Yeah, they own a van. Do they live in Portsmouth? Yeah, they live in Portsmouth. Do they fucking rule? Yeah, they fucking rule.
Well, you know why they do? An old comedian told me why people do that. Why do they do it?
I don't know. Go ahead.
Because now it's a show.
Oh, who told you that? Was it Ronnie Edwards?
No,
Vaudrey?
Ronnie Edwards didn't tell me that. Ronnie Edwards is very nice.
Was it
It was John Hastings Sr., your actual dad.
Oh my God, John Hastings
The road
Sr.?
dog. Johnny Kills.
Johnny Kills Hastings?
Yeah, Johnny Kills Hastings. Where he's like, hey, what nice date. Maybe next time it won't be with a fucking gay guy.
Yeah, he was the guy that actually invented when a guy walks up to go to the bathroom, you fake a weird train announcement saying all gay guys to the bathroom.
Yeah, that was his signature.
Did I ever tell you about that
going
going very wrong for Lawrence Morgenstern in a way that was so delicious? We're at the Prescott on Preston, the Spite Ottawa Club, opened across the street from the the Absolute Comedy Club in Ottawa. The greatest thing Howard Ragman's ever done. Oh, your club is successful? I'm opening up a club across the street that will be slightly less successful. Oh, it's Lawrence Morgenstern in the headlining in that room. First time I ever played it. First time I ever saw the all gay guys to the bathroom. First time. Did
What
it.
year is this?
We're talking, this is 2000, and this is the year of our Lord, 2008.
Okay. Before the woke mob destroyed comedy.
Before the woke mob showed up and made it snow so much with snowflakes in the comedy clubs, you got to get a shovel. Guy turns around, I am gay. Why would there be a meeting of us in the bathroom? And Lawrence Morgan's response was, hey, fuck you, man. That's not how this goes. Okay. And then just moved on. That's a pro. That's how you fucking do it right there.
Hey,
you're not.
fuck you. I mean,
Fuck
just
you.
the fact, like, my mama has cancer. Fuck you.
Yeah, that's not funny. I'm funny. Fuck you.
That's not how this goes.
He also Lawrence Morgenstern in the middle was talking so loudly in the green room. One of the opening acts had to stop his set, come into the green room, and say, "Stop talking so loudly." And Lawrence Morgenstern started a set by going, "You couldn't hear me talking, right?" And then everyone, "We could hear you." And he was like, "Nah, I wasn't that loud." And that's how you do it. That's how you win an argument. I win. No, you lose. You don't know what winning means.
Man, he was an animal, that guy.
They don't exist.
Get him on Rogan.
Get him on Rogan. Rogan doesn't even. First of all, he's eating so much of Rogan's food.
He's got elk meat. Oh, are we talking about elk meat? Where's the fucking elk meat?
Yeah, I ate an antler. I just ate it. Hey, Lawrence, did you actually eat some kettlebells? I thought those were eggs.
He did do one of the funniest things where him and Glenn Foster had a radio show and Jeremy Piven was on it because he was playing Yuck Yucks. And then Morgenstern said something to the effect of, well, you've already fallen so far, you're playing Yuck Yucks. What's next? Working at Yuck Yucks? And then Jeremy Piven did not answer it.
Here's my question. Where are the recordings of the Lawrence Morgenstern Glenn Foster radio show? I'll message Glenn. I'll do it. I need to hear these MP3s.
Message Glenn, please. Please message Glenn and figure it out. John, what's your number one? Oh, yeah, yours was what? Oh, yeah, and mine was Jimmy Fallon's stand-up album. I really fucking... No, my number one is the first Queens of the Stone Age album. Just currently, though, because I listen to that all the time.
It's really good.
Josh Homme is really funny because it's like, I remember it was a mark of me becoming a full adult that a Queens of the Stone Age concert used to be canceled because, like, Josh Holmes on too much fucking meth. And then it was like, one of them were canceled. It was like, Josh Homme has a cold and won't go away.
Yeah.
Josh Holmes
this is
now.
This is the thing with Josh Homme now is it's like he's just a divorced guy who can't do drugs anymore because he did all the meth. And it's just like he got too dehydrated. He needs 2 days off. And you're just like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Josh Homme had 6 glasses of water instead of his usual 8. This is a curse of death for him.
Let me ask you this. Are you across what's been going on with the Eagles of Death Metal guy? Let me tell you.
No, but it's probably weird.
Well, here's the thing. People, I don't think, understand what trauma does to someone. Like, people were like, oh, my God, I wonder if he's okay after the Bataclan concert. And then he was like, here's the first thing we got to do is kill them all. And they're like, whoa, he's a bit violent. And then everyone was like, yeah, man, he went to a concert and then people showed up and shot everyone who came to see him. Stop interviewing him. You can't, like, you're not going to get fun liberal answers from this guy. He's just like, every time I close my eyes, I see heads exploding. So I got to make sure to always have a gun in my hand. Also, this album is called Please Hold Me.
What happened?
The Bataclan. We were living in England when this happened. So you remember at a Eagles of Death Metal concert, some ISIS terrorists, was it ISIS? ISIS, I think, claimed responsibility for it. It was in that period of time where there were constant ISIS-inspired or ISIS-led terrorist attacks in mainland Europe. There was the Belgium truck running over thing. They were radicalized on the internet. Then ISIS would claim responsibility. Same thing as the Pulse nightclub shooting. And then the Bataclan shooting, people shot, like, it was, I think, 15 armed gunmen killed, like, they killed a lot of people. It was really fucked up. Incredibly fucked up.
15's a lot.
Was it 50? Did they kill 15?
15 armed gunmen, that's a lot.
I am now looking up because I want to get the details correct on Bataclan.
Also, like, you form a terrorist organization, then you just take credit for things. What do you guys? You guys fucking like Uber now? You just fucking rented it out? Back in my day, a terrorist organization, you had shirts, you had a leader, they made videos. They don't just go, you like, oh yeah, that car that picked you up, that was ISIS. All right, buddy? You fucking get your shit together. Don't just claim responsibility. Yeah, I heard some guy killed at Ajax Yuck Yucks. Dylan Gott's claiming responsibility.
They killed 130 people. It is so fucked up.
How did that end? Well, what the fuck? I think the worst one was that guy who just went to that island, killed a bunch of people, and just like waited there because he's like, I'm dead.
Breivik. The Anders Breivik's so fucked up because when he gets to the island, they had been heard from mainland that there had been an explosion and a police officer was sent to protect the camp. And that police officer who made that call was Anders Breivik, warning them. So the police officer that they sent a boat to was then the person that murdered everyone on that island. It is... Oh my God, that story is just scream into the night and smother me with my own pillow. I don't want to be a human anymore.
That, honestly, though, is a bad thing. And John, I'll take that statement. John, we started off with a fun thing about albums, and then we ended
talking about
Andrew's
mass
Forever.
shootings. The show remains, if anything, consistent thematically. You're welcome, guys. Oh, these guys seem sad. I wouldn't say that's the emotion, but I feel sad after listening to them. So subscribe to our Patreon. We need to get on some. Dylan and I are starting therapy. Dylan and I are starting couples therapy. We'll be going to the couples therapist I briefly dated in 2013, who had a husband and a boyfriend and briefly stalked me.
Really?
Do you remember? Yeah, remember? Oh, that was before your time. Yeah, that was a wild month.
That sounds good, though. Why don't you want to date me?
Yeah, I hacked into my email, figured out I would be leaving really early one morning, was waiting for me outside my house. What a nightmare that was.
That's fucking crazy, but also good.
Yeah. Hey, this is how, to paraphrase Detroit Rock City, this is how all porno movies start, or horror movies.
That's good. John, that was your number one Detroit Rock City soundtrack. Thank you so much. Frosh forever.